A water bottle landed on the holy stone at Arlington National Cemetery, disturbing the peace. Caleb Whitaker, a 16-year-old with a stylish blazer who felt he was cool, grinned at his phone while filming his prank to get likes. The tomb guard, Jacob Harper, didn't move. He marched perfectly, taking 21 steps, turning and stopping. But he could see everything behind those thick spectacles. People believed he was merely a soldier in a nice outfit. Caleb believed he would be a wonderful person to make fun of. The tourists, the teacher, and even Caleb didn't know that the tomb guard had once carried his wounded brother through a hail of bullets in Afghanistan. And today, one careless action was poised to convert a field trip into a lesson that everyone would remember. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more great stories before we get into the story. Also, let us know in the comments where you are watching this from. Please help us keep the memory of honor, courage, and sacrifice alive if you still believe in them. It is peaceful and almost heavenly at Arlington National Cemetery in the fall. Old oaks drop golden leaves slowly, and the beautiful light beams on the endless rows of white headstones. The air is cool and crisp, and the sound of Washington, D.C. in the distance sounds like it's from a different world. Jacob Harper, a 28-year-old guard at the tomb of the unknown soldier, gets ready for his duty. His navy blue suit is spotless, with precise creases and shiny brass buttons. He looks highly concentrated because he wears dark glasses and a low kepi. Jacob's steps are perfect because he has practiced them 1,000 times. 21 steps, a sharp turn, a pause, and then 21 steps back. Every step he takes commemorates the unknown troops who died for the country he loves. Jacob has been guarding the tomb for a year. He was chosen because he is disciplined and has fought in the Middle East. His job is both a hardship and a blessing. He stands up straight with a rifle on his shoulder and looks straight ahead. He is part of a tradition that has been around for about 100 years. To the tourists that are gathering at the marble stairs, he is a sign of seriousness. He sees himself as a soldier carrying on the work of those who never returned home. But as a school bus pulls up and its brakes wail, the quiet is disrupted. A group of about 20 high school students from a well-known private school in Virginia bursts out in their blue blazers and khaki jeans. This is a big change from how peaceful the cemetery is. Their voices are loud and echo across the holy country like a marching band. Caleb Whitaker, who is 16, is in the lead. He is quite confident and full of himself. He has beautifully combed blonde hair and a fancy blazer that is slightly unbuttoned to show off a watch that costs more than most people's rent. Caleb is the kind of kid that likes to be the center of attention and is always ready with a smile and a joke. He is immediately pulling out his phone and aiming it at the grave. "Check this out, guys," Caleb says in a sarcastic manner as he starts to record a TikTok. "What's up with this guy? Does he just walk back and forth all day for selfies?" His friends chuckle and pull out their phones to join in. Josh, who is tall, replicates Jacob's march exactly, making the steps so big that he almost trips over his own feet. Caleb zooms in on Jacob, who is still and has sunglasses on. The gang screams, "Caleb, put that away," a harsh voice demands. Miss Sarah Thompson, their history teacher, is 35 years old. Her face reveals that she is exhausted and irritated at the same time. Her clothes and light jacket appear neat, but her face reveals that she's been having a hard time with this lesson all morning. "Be polite. We're here to learn, not to cause trouble." "Calm down, Miss T." Caleb rolls his eyes and adds, "It's only a show. These guys are being paid to stand there and seem serious. What's the big deal?" Emma Sullivan, who is also 16, stands out from the other students because she is holding a little notebook. Her brown hair is pulled back, and her green polo shirt fits well into her khakis. Emma is the quiet one and the history nerd, who really did read the homework about Arlington before the trip. She writes down notes about the tomb's past, but she keeps looking uncomfortably at Caleb. She wants to say something, but she chews her lips and she knows he'll simply label her a bookworm again. "Caleb, I'm warning you," Miss Thompson says forcefully as she approaches closer. "These warriors are not here to have fun. They are here to protect this precious location." Caleb snorts and isn't upset. "Come on, it's just a bunch of old rocks and a guy in a costume." He smiles at his companions and says, "Who's in? I bet I can make him jump." Josh and a few other people laugh and cheer him on. Josh takes out his wallet and says, $10 says you can't. Make it 20, says another kid. Their voices get louder when they pool their money. A family with 2 small kids and an older man with a veteran's cap nearby starts to notice. The family leaves, and the parents give them disapproving looks. Frank Larson, 68, the older man, stands still, and his aged face tightens. There is a Vietnam War unit patch on his cap, and his silver hair sticks out from under it. His hand rests on a worn military pin that is clipped to his jacket. For years, Frank has been going to Arlington to see friends who never made it home. Caleb's actions made him feel like he had been punched in the gut. Emma walks closer and speaks softly but firmly. "Caleb, you shouldn't do that. The troops that guard the tomb are on active service and have participated in battles like—" "Come on, Emma," Caleb adds in the same tone as her. "You memorized the whole tour guide book. Now go write your notes down somewhere else." Emma's cheeks get red, but she doesn't give up. They've earned this post. It's not just a ritual, it's a way to remember the deceased. Caleb rolls his eyes and goes back to his phone. "Whatever, bookworm. Check this out. Caleb Whitaker, stop it right now." Miss Thompson's voice cuts through. "You're acting like an idiot at this school." But Caleb is already on the move, and the attention gives him more confidence. He throws an empty water bottle into the area around the tomb that is off limits. It drops with a clatter on the marble. The sound is sharp and irritating, and it disturbs the silence. Jacob doesn't flinch. He keeps marching with mechanical precision. 21 steps, pivot, halt, and 21 steps back. But the guests gasp, and Frank Larson's jaw tightens and his hand tightens around his pin. Miss Thompson comes up, her face pale. "Caleb, that's enough. Put that up right now." "Calm down, Miss T," Caleb says with a giggle. "It's just a bottle. Nobody will care." Frank Larson gets closer. His voice is low but forceful. "Young man, you're on the ground where heroes rest. That bottle shouldn't be here." Caleb smirks and doesn't care. "Heroes? It's just a lovely cemetery, old man. Get over it." "That's it," Mrs. Thompson says as she takes Caleb by the arm. "You have to go back to the bus." But Caleb pulls away because his ego gets the best of him. "I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started," he says as he advances into the area that is off limits. His buddies celebrate and hold out their phones to record what he does next. Emma shakes her head, and her pencil stops moving across her notebook. She knows this is going to go too far. Jacob keeps walking, and the sound of his boots clicking against the marble is perfectly in time. But he knows everything that's going on behind his sunglasses, every laugh, every taunt, and every stride Caleb takes. He has been trained for this, not just to march, but also to keep alert and commemorate the dead no matter what. His time in Afghanistan taught him how to keep calm when things get tough, and how to spot dangers before they happen. Caleb, with his shiny watch and loud personality, is a threat to the peace in this area. Caleb is now fully committed to his act. He ignores the signs that say restricted area, and slips over the low chain barrier. As he gets closer to Jacob, who is in the middle of a march, he holds up his phone and records himself. "Hey, robot soldier, smile for the camera," Caleb exclaims, and his voice echoes. He doesn't even see that the second water bottle in his hand is slipping out of his hands since he's so focused on his phone. It falls and hits the marble with a loud crack, dropping straight into Jacob's path. The crowd gets quiet. Miss Thompson stops moving and puts her hand over her mouth. "Oh no, he didn't," Emma says. Even Caleb's friends stop laughing because they realize the line has been crossed. Frank Larson's eyes narrow, and he stands up straighter, as if he's back on the battlefield. Jacob stops. This is against the rules, which is so rare that the tourists quickly pull out their phones to take pictures. He turns and walks slowly toward the broken bottle. He picks it up with gloved hands and holds it like it's an insult to the ground. He walks over to Caleb and stops 3 feet away. He is very tall, and even though he is calm, his voice is strong and firm. "Son," he says, "you're on holy ground. This area is a tribute to those who died so you could be free. Think about what you're doing." Caleb stutters because he wasn't ready for it. "I was just messing around. It's not a huge deal." Jacob holds up the bottle and doesn't modify his voice. There is no room for disrespect here either. A middle-aged man in a dark clothing, who works as a security guard, walks up quickly and asks, "Is there a problem here?" He says in a professional yet strong voice. Miss Thompson walks up and says, "Officer, I'm so sorry. My student didn't want to get in trouble. I'll handle it." The officer stares at Jacob, and then at Caleb. "It's a big deal to bother a tomb guard. We have cameras covering every inch of this area," he says, pointing to the covert surveillance cameras nearby. "I think you should explain yourself, young man." When Caleb sees the cameras, his bravado disappears, and his face goes pale. "I didn't mean to. I was just—" His voice fades as he understands how serious the situation is. Jacob hands the officer the bottle, and then goes to Caleb. "I'm Guardsman Jacob Harper," he says in a calm voice that seems like someone who has seen more than Caleb can imagine. "Before this post, I served 2 tours in Afghanistan. I do everything I do here for the warriors who didn't make it home. People who died so you may be free to make your own choices. But choices have consequences." Caleb wanders about awkwardly, his usual confidence gone. His friends put their phones down since it's too serious for TikToks right now. Frank Larson walks up. even though Miss Thompson seems like she's about to say something. His voice is rough but strong. "Is it okay if I say something?" "Hey," says Guardsman Frank. Jacob nods and steps back a little. Frank looks at Caleb with a focused but not unpleasant look. "Frank Larson is my name. I was in Vietnam from 1968 to 1970. I lost my best friend Tommy in a gunfight near Dang. He was 19 years old. This tomb doesn't have his name on it, but it may. All of the soldiers here are like him, a person who gave it all. Do you believe this is a play? You're standing on their graves." The words strike Caleb like a tsunami. He glances down at his hands in his pockets, and the sparkling watch suddenly seems out of place. "I didn't know," he says quietly. "I thought it was just a ceremony." "That's the problem," Jacob says, his voice getting lower but still strong. "You didn't think this dress or this place was a theater or a costume. It's a promise to always remember. No matter what, the tomb guard has to uphold that promise." Emma moves closer, clutching her notebook to her chest. She clears her throat, and her voice is shaky but easy to understand. She looks at Caleb and says, "The tomb of the unknown soldier was built in 1921. It has the bodies of soldiers from World War I, World War II, Korea and Vietnam, who have not been identified. The guards go through months of training and stand watch 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's one of the highest honors in the military." Caleb is shocked when he sees her. "Did you remember all of that?" Emma nods, and she feels more sure of herself. "It's not just history. It's about people who deserve respect." Miss Thompson sees the chance and takes action. "Thank you, Emma, and thank you, Guardsman Harper, Mr. Larson." She turns to the class, and her voice is steady now. "This is why we're here, to learn to understand. Caleb, what you did was wrong, but we're going to make it right, starting with an apology." Caleb is hesitant, since he is proud, and everyone is watching him. Finally he looks at Jacob. "I'm sorry," he says in a calm, serious voice. "I didn't get it. I didn't know what this place meant." He stares at Frank. "I'm sorry I didn't respect what you and your friend went through." Jacob nods once, accepting the apologies like a soldier would. He says, "Education is better than punishment any day. Learn what this place stands for, and take this as a lesson." Frank pulls out his old military pin from his pocket. It has lost some color, but is still sparkly. He hands it to Caleb. "Keep this," he says. "That was mine. Remember that you have to work for honor." Caleb takes the pin, and his hands shake a little. "Thanks," he replies quietly as he puts it in his pocket. Miss Thompson talks to the students. "When we get back to school, you're all going to do a project on what it means to sacrifice. I want you to look into the tomb, the soldiers it honors, and what it means to serve." She stares at Caleb. "Mr. Whitaker, I want you to lead the way." Caleb nods, and the smile he had earlier is gone. "Yes, ma'am." Emma walks closer to him while still holding her notebook. "I can help with the research," she says. There was no judgment in what she said. "There are a lot of great books about Arlington in the library." For the first time, Caleb doesn't laugh. "Okay, Sullivan," he says. "I might need that." The security guard, thrilled, says out, "Guardsman Harper, if this works for you, we'll call it a day." Jacob agrees. There's nothing else to do. These kids learned something today. The tourists who have been quietly watching begin to clap gently. The parents of the family with little kids smile and nod their heads in agreement. Frank Larson gives Jacob a polite nod, which is a way for soldiers from different times to show respect without saying anything. Jacob goes back to his location and starts marching again. He takes 21 steps, turns, stops, and then takes 21 steps back. The duty stays the same, and the rhythm doesn't change. For the new tourists who come, he's simply another serious person from the past. But to the students in Miss Thompson's class, he's more than that. He is a soldier who turned their error into a lesson they will always remember. The group is going back to the bus, and Caleb is walking slowly since the pin is heavy in his pocket. Emma walks next to him. "Hey," she continues, "the tomb guards have to memorize pages of history and pass crazy physical tests. It's not just marching." Caleb smiles a little as he looks at her. "You're such a nerd, Sullivan, but keep going." Miss Thompson stares at them with a calm smile. Even though she's led a number of field trips, this one feels different. The students came here loud and careless, but now they're going with something new, respect that came from understanding, not rules. Jacob stands back and watches, and the sound of his boots on the marble echoes. The leaves keep falling, the sun keeps shining, and the tomb stays quiet, which is a sign of sacrifice. Now it's not just a memorial for Caleb, Emma, and the others. It's a story, a piece of history, and a reminder that we should learn from certain things and appreciate others. If you were Jacob, what would you have done? Would you have stayed quiet or used the time to teach? And have you ever thought something was one way when it was really another? Think about it. The tomb of the unknown soldier is more than just a place. It's a promise to remember, respect, and learn.